Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back once again with the RTP Cast, Rarely Typical Player podcast. Thank you all for coming out today, where we once again bring you another RPG Maker game. This game was chosen by our very own resident German, SG Harlequin. And the good thing about this game, guys, the good thing about this game, it is a commercial RPG Maker game. A good and very successful one, to put it at that. This was chosen by Harlequin, like I said, and like every game that we get to spend a whole week with the game. We play the game, we analyze the game, and every Wednesday we come to you guys in good faith and talk about the game and give our own honest review of the game. So before we get into the game and talking about the good and the bad, I would like to introduce my co-host. Once again, we have SG Harlequin. Would you like to say anything? All right, nice, short, and sweet. And next, we have the sci-fi fanatic, Psychronic Games.
Yeah, that's me. Love the sci-fi.
All right, so if you guys would like to see what the game looks like, we have the visual on the screen, and we're going to talk about this game in multiple categories. Story, without trying to give so much of a spoiler, but a little synopsis of what we think about it and maybe how the developer could improve. We're going to expand on the mapping, the music, the battle system, all the good stuff that makes an RPG a RPG. So they cannot hear Simple Gaming.
Or me.
Okay. Why not?
Oh, yes. This streams that.
All right. Say something, guys.
Hello.
Okay.
Testing.
I see what's going on. I see what's going on. They can hear me, but they can't hear you. All right. Darn, OBS keep changing my settings back. All right, say something.
Hello.
All right, they can hear y'all. I can see the movement. My bad, guy. You know how OBS are. You know how OBS act.
Man, always somebody else's fault. We know.
All right, if you can hear my co-host, say something, co-host. Say something.
Testing. Check.
Can y'all
mic checking?
Can y'all hear them? Well, I can hear you guys fine in the
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
They don't need to hear us.
in the output R is moving, so it was set the default. So Absentia, Another Night Bewitched by Bewitched Games.
Yeah, title says Capsule Monsters too.
Are you oh wow, it sure did.
American quality, guys. American
Oh my
quality.
gosh. Okay. Let me change that. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. Cynthia. All right, let's change that. Of Cynthia. All right, so if Cynthia is a turn-based RPG featuring the story Scorn Knight Freya, her young apprentice Sarah, and their individual struggles with loss, betrayal, and acceptance as they fight to protect their home. That's the quick synopsis of this game. So, we're going to start with who should I think I started with Psychronic Games last week. So let's start with Simple Gaming this time. Give us a rundown of what you know, how the story or, you know, the synopsis appealed to you and during your gameplay, you know, what it basically you got out of it.
The story for me, I mean, I didn't get too far, but it seems like a pretty not basic, but like a classic story, I guess. It's a very classic game, really. Like you start off small in this town of beginnings, if you will, and then you work your way up until you save the world, slay the gods, or whatever. And that seems to be the story here too. You start off in the small city, and you're trying to like protect your grandma and whatnot, but shit's gonna hit the town, and everything's going out of hand, and then that's where it escalates. So story-wise, for me, not too much interest really, but the characters are very well written. I feel like I enjoyed reading most of the dialogue, or at least the big story parts of it.
Okay.
Like there's some funny lines, and every character has kind of its own thing going. They are their own characters and not just copy paste text everywhere. So that's pretty good, yeah.
All right. What about you, Cychronic?
I liked it. But yeah, the story. I would say that it is kind of, and when Simple Gaming says classic, I would say it is basically like I've kind of seen stories like this before, but it was well executed, and the characters were they all had their own personalities. They were unique to some extent. For the story, I thought that it was like a little bit. After a while, it started getting to the point where it was like, okay, we're gonna do this next dungeon, next part of the story. Next dungeon, next part of the story.
That happens with like every classic type game.
Yeah, and then each of these dungeons kind of has some puzzles. I liked some of the puzzles. As far as the story started to heat up when I would say that there's a point in the game where the town gets in trouble in some sense, and it started heating up a little bit for me more after that point, because there's a few twists and turns that happen after that make you kind of go about some of the characters you meet earlier on. So overall I enjoyed the experience. I wouldn't say that this would be the first type of game that I would play, like if I was looking for a game to play. But what seems like it's pretty well executed. I liked the overall feel of it. I'll keep it at that for the story for now. But I don't want to. I have a bad habit of spoiling stories. So yeah.
All right. So I don't think you could spoil a lot. Even with a demo, you can't spoil too much, because a demo should end basically at the point where it's getting good.
It wasn't a demo. It was because we got keys.
Yeah.
Right? So we actually got the full.
I posted you keys.
We got the full.
I didn't get a key.
Well, read the fucking chat.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I'm playing the demo the whole time, and oh my gosh,
this guy, man.
I'm playing the freaking demo, bro. Like,
maybe that's
probably why I was stuck. Yeah, that's why I was stuck. Wow.
Spoiled Chronic. That's what Powder said.
I am mad. I am upset. I am upset right now. I got the full game and I'm playing the demo. See, that shows the dedication that D7 has for RPG Maker game. I love the game I love the game so much. I love the game so much. I will play it again. You know what I'm saying? The real game, I will play it again from the beginning. Alright, but you guys saw me playing, my handsome self playing the game yesterday. And I actually, made different references that this is my kind of game. And when I mean my kind of game, the classic feel, it reminded me of Final Fantasy in a way. You know what I mean? Like if you played like I think Padre, it was Padre, I believe he said it reminds him of the Pixel remaster of Final Fantasy, and it definitely, has that vibe of a Pixel remaster game. The story, like the beginning started off pretty interesting, you know what I mean? Because One, you introduced with beautiful graphics. You with your grandmother, you know, she telling you to light the torch. You go to a graveyard, you go to a cemetery, and she give you a backstory of your family, and you know, turns out that your parents are buried there too. So the game is showing loss, right? Loss, betrayal, and acceptance. So right in the beginning, you are experienced with that loss because, you know, here you have a young girl living with her grandmother, you know, and she lost both her mother and her father. Not sure the game touched on how she lost them. I made a overlook that, you know, during the stream, because when you're streaming, guys, you know, it's different when you're playing solo and streaming. It really shows a sense of, you know, powerfulness, you know, because losing your mother and your father, maybe to violence at a young age, you know, can, you know, affect an individual in many different ways. So the grandmother end up getting attacked in the graveyard, but it turns out it was a dream. It was a dream, nothing but a dream. Then you're introduced with other players in the game, unique players. Then you go on the quest, and you know, just like my co-host says, the game kind of go in a pattern. You have a story, you have dialogue, you go on the quest, you go to the dungeon, you do puzzles, you know, fight enemies, fight a boss, rinse and repeat. We can all agree that RPGs need to follow some type of structure, right? Just like a book follows structure. You know, you got
or a movie, yeah.
Or a movie. You got a script, or you got paragraphs, and you got synthesis, then you got your chapters. That's how RPGs are. And when you play this game, it's like that. It's like the developer, you know, follow a straight format, a specific format to, you know, to tell their story. Given that I feel like this game is inspired by Final Fantasy in the classic, you know, and I heard it's not a long game at that. I think it's a few hours, to be honest, probably like 10-20 hours, something like that. When I read in one of the comments on Steam. The story is really good though. You know, in the characters, like the different characters in the other supported characters that you run into, I think they definitely have their own personality that can create a lot of engagement with your player. So that's really a strong point with this game, you know, in my opinion. Anybody else got something to say? Not just me.
I mean, we started with the story. We
said
what we said about the story.
I know. I was just
there seems to be some interesting twists and turns coming to in the story. So I'm getting to some of those twists. So
we didn't get there yet.
Yeah, because Cychronic got further than me, and I don't like that. Normally, I'm the one that's supposed to be ahead in the game. But I was playing the demo the whole time, and I got the real game. So, yeah, I don't know how I overlooked that simple game. I really don't know how I overlooked that.
I even pinged both of you, so that's entirely
but I'm not
on you.
You know why? Because I actually looked on Steam and was checking for the key. I waited, you know, I looked on Steam, but I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and download.
That's a key. That's a gift copy. How am I supposed to give you a gift copy from a game that I didn't make?
Well, it would be if you bought it for him. But
yeah, as if I would buy a game.
Okay, but either way,
Anyway.
either way, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Whatever.
Yeah, I reached out to the developer. They have been hitting me up. Like, I believe before the game even released, they wanted me to stream it, but I stopped streaming, so I kind of ended up not streaming it.
Yeah.
So when it was my turn again, I was hitting them up and told them like, here, you wanted me to stream it, but I don't stream anymore. But I can get it on the podcast instead. And if
So
they
I
had
wanted-
2 additional keys, so
I wonder, are they here? They might, but
I
like I
told
said,
them when we're going live, but I don't know.
the developer did reach out to me a long time ago and asked my interest to if I was going to be interested in the game, but I haven't heard anything since from them. I don't even think the Kickstarter has launched at that time. You know what I mean? So, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
All right, so the story is your classic RPG. You got your villain, you got your heroes, you got that one antagonist that's annoying that keep coming back. Is hard to kill.
The Team Rocket of Absentia.
Yeah, that's hard to kill. Then you run into your supportive characters that support you along the way. It's one of those type games. So
It also follows like the classic like structure. Like there's even a Yanfly fucking video about that, where it's like you start in a town, you get your story beat, you go into the dungeon, you get the next story beat, then you go to the next town, and you go to the dungeon of that town, and then you get some story, and then you go to the next town. Like that's how these like classic.
that's how
RPGs work.
everybody game is like that I played. All honesty.
Yeah.
Except Psychronis. Psychronis not like that because his is vast, is open world. You travel different galaxies and all that stuff.
Star systems and
So his is
and timelines.
yeah.
But instead of Final Fantasy, this game kind of reminded me more of like Lufia.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
I can see that.
With the puzzles and stuff. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Like, I really enjoyed the music, which is not what I say a lot. Like, usually I'm just like, okay, music is there. I really like the music in this game.
I thought
it gives you cozy vibes most of the time. I really liked it.
I thought that the battle music was pretty catchy too.
Yeah, it's really good music choice. The mapping is pretty good, except for some issues here and there.
Okay. So that should
Are
be.
we still in story, or should we do another topic?
Let's go to the map, and since you already said there's some issues here and there with the map, so let's start off with you. No. Don't start off with you. Let's start off with Psychronic first. Then we gonna save you for last, since there's an issue with the mapping.
All right.
Actually, to tell you the truth with the mapping, I thought that like the towns were all okay and stuff, but I actually thought that the dungeons were pretty basic. I mean, they're all basically like squares that you jump to the next square, and there might be a puzzle to unlock other squares that you jump onto. But I mean, they're pretty basic. I mean, they're fine. They serve their purpose, but I didn't get a sense that the maps were super fancy or anything. Personally.
Yeah, I agree. Like the forest was good. It's like inside the dungeon, like the tower, that was kind of basic, Then but I did like that one puzzle with the rise of the water. I actually got stumped there. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the heck am I supposed to do there?
There's one later that stumped me for a little while. It took me like I'm embarrassed to say this, but it took me like an hour to get past it, and it felt like I should have been smarter. It's one that involves like where you walk on a bunch of tiles, and you can only walk on. It's like there's like 30 tiles, and you can only walk on each tile once. with obstacles in the way. So like if you walked on the tiles out of order, you would have to start over again. And so there's two of them. One of them was easy. The first one was easy, and then the second one I got stuck on it for like an hour. So
Oh man, I would hate that, my guy. I'm not ready for that, to be honest.
no, right, but maybe you would get past it quicker than me because maybe my brain just wasn't right for that. But it happens. That's what happens with puzzles. Not everybody gets the puzzle usually. So it's always kind of something to consider when making puzzles in your game.
Yeah.
I'm fine with puzzles, but sometimes they do stump me a little bit, depending on what they are. But it's all good.
Yeah. So this game didn't really have they didn't really overdo it with the puzzles.
No, I don't think so. Yeah,
I feel like this game definitely catered to those who who not as good with puzzles, but easy to find, figure out and move on to the next obstacle and stuff like that. I really dig that. And the developer, even though some of the puzzles were basic, but it was, it's one of those puzzles that they thought out really well to include in their game. So, all right, Cychronic, you were saying something about the map?
Yeah, I think the mapping is pretty basic.
I mean, not Cychronic, Harlequin.
Yeah, there's it's only really small issues. Like you could see it in the clip earlier. When you were in the attic of the house where there's the diagonal wooden thing of the roof, right? Inside, like it was on the wrong layer, basically. So it was cutting off the armor and cutting across the window and shit like that. It's just tiny misplacements like that. And as Cychronic already said, so the dungeon maps, they are functional. They mostly, from what I could tell, the dungeon maps are essentially the entire puzzle, right? It's like one big room, and you gotta navigate across that room with like switches and whatnot, whatever the puzzle is. So they look basic because the entire room is essentially a puzzle. It kills a little bit of the uniqueness, like the character of the dungeon. Like I just did the sewers. It looked alright, right? There's like sewer water everywhere. It makes sense, but it could have probably have more unique character if it wasn't serving that puzzle purpose, right? If they made it look more unique. So yeah, the dungeon maps are kind of on the basic side, but then again, what do you expect, right? You're playing an RPG. It's pretty much for me it was like Zelda level difficulty of the puzzles. Like I didn't really need to think about it. I just navigated through it, no brainer. Like it wasn't hard. It halted your progress a little bit because of course you want all the chests too, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to get everything. So it's made well, I believe. Like it's not too hard. You don't have to think for an hour except you're Cychronic.
It was probably more like 30 minutes, but it was. I felt like it was taking me longer than I wanted. But it was my fault.
But that happens. Like when I think Zelda back in the day, like I spent, I think like 5 days in the fucking Ocarina of Time water temple, right?
Oh, the water
As a kid,
temple.
like,
Oh my
I
god.
spent forever in there. Nowadays, I can no-brain it basically, but it depends. Like some puzzles are good for you, some are harder for you to figure out. But overall, the difficulty I believe in this game is pretty Zelda-ish. Like not too hard. It's okay. You don't spend ages trying to figure it out and fighting random encounters at the same time and whatnot.
It felt fair to me.
Yeah, it felt pretty good. I played on the hardest difficulty, and even I didn't spend too much time inside a dungeon. Like it was an alright duration too. It didn't overstay its welcome or anything. I thought it was really good, really well designed. Yeah, the mappings are. The rest of the maps are good too, I believe. Like the forest maps and everything. Like they are densely like decorated. They look like a forest.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that, right? They have a lot of detail in them. They don't look like fucking sandboxes and what else we're used to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, mapping's really good. Like, there's just small, tiny issues here and there with layering and stuff like that. Can happen. Like, most people wouldn't even see it. But, of course, I would, because...
You're a mapper. That's
Right,
what you do for a living. You're a mapper.
Exactly. I notice some of these tiny things, and I'm probably making the same mistake sometimes too. Like, there's no shame in that. It happens. But yeah, it makes no sense for the roof to cut off the window like that. But yeah, otherwise the maps are really good. Like, also the insides. Well, what I was surprised a little bit is why do they have TVs?
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I did notice that too.
Yeah.
I did wonder about that. Like, they have no electricity, but how the fuck do they have clocks and TVs?
Exactly.
Like, they're not like grandpa clocks, right? It's not like where you have to manually turn the thing, right, to make the clock run.
Yeah.
They're battery powered.
Yeah, they're pretty much battery powered clocks, and those are TVs, but they don't have electricity. Maybe it's magic TVs. I don't fucking know, but it looked a bit odd.
I noticed that in the stream, like when I played it, like when you wake up in her room, she got the TV. I'm like,
And
TV.
not only that, like there's even an event where you can watch the TV and it tells you it's a show about this and that, and I was like, huh?
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Why is there a TV in the first place? But I mean,
Well, maybe they're at a modern level of development. Maybe it's
maybe it's like some kind of magic TV and it doesn't need electricity. I don't fucking know. It just looks a bit weird. Like when you do a fantasy game like that and you have TVs and shit, it always looks a bit weird no matter how you explain it in world, right?
Magitech is Magitech. They're using Magitech.
Yeah, it's Magitech, right? And instead of fucking war machines, they made TVs with it.
Yeah, I do agree. This game definitely is a hybrid of Pokemon and like the map style, Pokemon and Link to the Past.
I can see that. Like the art style has these kind of cozy Pokemon-y vibes. Yeah, absolutely.
I personally enjoyed playing it in the sharp mode, whatever the pixel or the mode was, where it doesn't try to smooth out the edges. I like that because there was different ways to like in the options menu. There was like you could play the game where it's like pixel perfect and sharp, or you could play it where it does the anti-aliasing on it and it has more of that smoother look.
Oh, nice.
I don't think I changed that setting.
And also one thing I did change because I thought it was kind of annoying was the message box talking.
I actually like that. That was cool.
I didn't like it, but but they had the option to turn it off, so I just turned it off. So
yeah, message sounds are always hit and miss with people. No matter what sound you use, it's always somebody is not gonna like it. That's normal.
But
just
hey, they
put
had
an
the
option there, and that's perfect.
They had the option in there, and
exactly.
It helped me to enjoy it. So
exactly, that's all you need to do. Like message sounds are always hit or miss with people. Always, no matter what sound you use. As long as you put an option to disable it, that's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I left it on. I thought it was a little bit too harsh when I started, but kind of got used to it, I guess.
It didn't bother me one bit. It didn't bother me one bit.
I did like the battle. The battles felt because we're seeing a battle right now, so I wanted to kind of comment on that. I thought the battles were pretty cool actually. They felt a little different than what you normally see. One thing that I probably would have liked to see a little more of is like, especially on the basic attacks, like the action sequencing. I'm not as big of a they have action sequencing for a lot of the attacks, but sometimes it's like you're just slashing the air, swiping the air, and I kind of like when you have them run up to the enemy like literally and slash them or something. I don't know, yeah. But it didn't prevent me from enjoying it. But I mean, I like this perspective that the front view. Where you can still see the sprites, of course. My game kind of has something similar too, but little different, but yeah, I enjoyed the battle system for the most part.
All right, before we get to the battle system, I want to congratulate the developer for creating a game where exploration is rewarded. I don't know, you guys know that there's hidden areas and stuff like that where you get rewards and unique weapons and items and stuff like that.
Yep, I found a few.
Yeah. So this could add hours to your game, guys. This could add a lot of time to your games for those completionists and those who like to explore and talk to everything and check every nook and cranny. You guys should consider doing this with your own projects if you have a unique map style and beautiful abundant items and stuff like that. You could reward your players like this for just exploring your maps, maybe unlocking new quests, side quests, missions, anything that can add extra gameplay, because the goal is you want to keep your player playing as long as they can. You don't want your player to like just pick your game up and do the bare bones stuff. No, reward them with exploring, maybe treasure hunting. You find all the items and you bring it to this particular NPC and you get a weapon or an item, a strong item in the game, for just finding something. So yeah, I mean, they did a great job with that. I was definitely checking every nook and cranny, dungeon. I was in. It just encourages, your player to like really be engaged in your game and just not be like a zombie and just go the linear path. So this game, we're gonna get in the battle system now, guys. This is my favorite part in the game. If the battle system sucks, then more than likely the game is gonna follow suit. Y'all may disagree, but RPGs are mainly for one, story and character development. And a great way to develop your characters is get them stronger by fighting, learning new skills, increasing their stats. So if you got to engage in battle system, then you would have engaged players. In this game, we don't have side view. We got third person with a side view hybrid. You can see your sprites. You can't see their face, but they have everything that I like in the battle system. Action sequencing, animations, all that good stuff. So we're going to delve into the battle system. What we think about the battle system. Is it fun? Is it balanced? Is it challenging? So let's start with Harlequin.
Yeah, I had a good time. Like as I said earlier in the chat, I picked the hardest difficulty that was available. It even gave me this little warning that if I were to lower the difficulty, I could not go back to this higher level difficulty. So I just chose the hardest and ran with it. Yeah, it's exactly my kind of difficulty, to be honest. They hit the nail with that.
Okay.
It was challenging. I had to actually think about what the fuck I'm doing, which is rare for an RPG Maker game. Like usually you just spam any fucking skill, or maybe you gotta find the weakness and then spam that weakness.
Yeah.
That's usually how as good as it gets. Playing this on the hardest difficulty though, like you gotta think about when you wanna use your MP regeneration skills or when you wanna AoE, and especially when you get the snow shield. That was a really important skill to get at that point, because holy shit, those enemies deal some fucking damage.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, but it's very well balanced. Like usually when you play RPG Maker games and they have a difficulty, usually playing on hard mode is borderline impossible, if possible at all, because they can't balance their fucking games. But they did a really good job here. Like, I had a great time with the battles.
Yeah, I had a fun time with the battles too. They felt pretty balanced to me, and pretty challenging. I played on hard, but not the hardest setting. I think it was the one right below the hardest setting. And I found it pretty challenging. I did die a few times, but it definitely you do have to think, which is good. I like that in a battle system, and it looked really nice too. So like the battle backgrounds and the presentation of it, like I was actually kind of having fun in these battles. So
yeah, they absolutely nailed the battles. I think, like, from the visuals were really good. The pixel art in the battle bags is amazing. The enemies look really good. The only thing I wasn't so much fond of is like when they do bosses and the boss is a human, but it's like 10 times your size. I really don't understand why. It looks weird, but I mean, I guess that's what like retro games do or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
it was no deal breaker or anything. It's just a detail that
they could have kept the sprite. They could have kept the in-game sprite and use it in the battle. That way, it looks. Yeah, I agree.
It's the same thing everywhere, though. It's the same point I keep making about non-animated enemies, and it's the same point here. Like you have these battler sprites that look almost exactly like the map sprites, right? So why didn't you just do that for your enemies too?
Agreed. Especially the pirate queen.
It would have looked better. It would have looked more consistent instead of having these much bigger static enemy pictures there. I make this point every game, but nobody does it. I don't know. It's a lot of work, of course, because I'm doing it. Obviously, I have animated enemies for everything, and it's a lot of work. You gotta action sequence all that shit. You gotta animate all that shit. You gotta make skills for all that shit. It's easier when you have like a static sprite that just plays an animation. But like it looks better when it's animated.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Like I made a comment like the battlers, like they should have an idle movement instead of just standing there like cut out pieces of paper.
It depends really. If they have this fucking Yanfly breathing effect, that's not really better than static though.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the bird right now, you can see the bird. It's like just kind of.
It's static, yeah. Everything's static, but I don't think the Yanfly breathing when they wiggle up and I don't think that makes it better.
No, I don't think so either.
But they got everything else. They could have easily improved the battlers.
They could, but on the other hand, they designed their game so well that is not a problem. Like I can live with the static enemies because the rest of it is just that good.
Now,
if the rest was shit, then it would have been a nail in the coffin. But since it's pretty good, it's no problem really.
Yeah, it didn't really bug me in this one because
exactly.
they executed pretty well on it. I would say, yeah.
That's exactly the thing.
Now, my take with I actually enjoyed the battle system. It was my thing. Like this game, even I played on normal. I'm a normal type of guy. You know what I'm saying?
So you're the typical player out of the rarely typical players?
I'm the typical player.
He's the rarely. He's typical.
I'm the rarely typical player.
You're the test group.
What the developer done? They created a game for everybody, for the casual and the hardcore. You know what I mean? The battles, they're simple, they're straightforward. The skills did what they're supposed to done. I like how they got rid of the defense mechanic because me personally, I don't use defense. So they got rid of something that's is
yeah,
extra.
that guard move, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody needs that shit. Nobody.
Instead of they got recover MP with a buff. Like for Jake, he got agility. With Thomas, magic increase, and with the main character, she has Sarah. She has the enemy guard goes down with her skill. Very unique. I love when you level up, you restore HP. I mean, either way, it doesn't matter, but it definitely saved me plenty of times from using items. So you can definitely, run through a dungeon with no problem, level up just as fine. But when you get to a boss battle, you actually have to use your skills and strategize. You know what I mean? Like use whatever skill. And what I like about this game is that every skill is important. Like, some RPG Maker games, since not just RPG, but RPG Maker games like Harlequin like to say, once you learn a boss skill, that's all you're gonna do. Especially if it's AoE, you ain't gonna do nothing else. But this game is not like that. Like, you have to use every skill.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree on that.
No. I'm not gonna let you do that to me. Let me finish my thought.
Yeah, do that.
You have to use a skill for that particular fight, like the battles, like the boss battles, or if you want to exploit enemy weaknesses. You know what I mean? Each skill is important as when you first learn it, and for later fights as well. You know what I mean?
For the most part, I would agree with that. I would say that there's some that I liked to use more than others, but at the same time, you would run into fights sometimes where you needed to use the one skill that you don't normally use, because that one enemy, if you're trying to do any of the other skills, you're doing like 0 to them, and then that other skill will be the weak point of that enemy. And yeah, I mean, they did a good job with that. So
exactly.
That kind of spamming one skill, because sometimes they in a lot of games it's like you get a newer skill that for some reason does less damage than your older skill and uses like all the MP versus like only like way less, but that, so there's like no reason to use certain skills. But this game did not. And what I liked about this too was how the skills used a lot of MP, so like you would run out of options quick, but at the same time MP was automatically being restored as well. So like it had almost like a cooldown effect, I guess is how I put it. And that added some interest, to me anyway.
All right, let's hear the disagree statement this guy got to say. Yeah. Let's hear that.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are.
Oh my gosh! God! Cause he played on the hardest difficulty. Let's hear.
Yeah, that's exactly the point, though. Like I played on the hardest difficulty, right? So the thing is, like, Pocket Sand absolutely fucking useless. The bosses seem permanently immune, and the blinding effect when it actually triggered did like nothing. Like that skill is fucking useless. Don't ever use that shit.
It's useless. Pocket Sand.
It's fucking useless. So that's one skill that's going out the window.
Okay.
And as soon as you get Heat Wave, you don't need to use anything else. Like I was just blasting the fucking sewer with Heat Wave. Even when like heat damage heals the snake ladies, the Nagas. I don't know why they heal with fire and are in a sewer. I don't understand, but I still just used Heat Wave because it killed everything else, and then I just blasted the Naga last.
I mean, at that time, that's what you
can
really.
absolutely just spam like your strongest attack and still win.
But
No
if
problem.
you analyze each and every skill, they're designed to scale with the player to use later. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, of course.
like
But
fire
there's no
one,
need to.
like fire 1, fire 2, fire 3. Once you learn fire 3, you're not doing fire 1. You may do fire 2, but you're not doing fire 1 ever again. Right?
Yeah, that's fine. Like the
This
design
game-
is not,
this
it's
game-
not bad. I still had fun, but
This
it's
game,
not as strategic as you guys make it out to be.
this game, it evolves into like a tag team. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you're talking about. You played the same content I did. Like there's nothing evolving. You get these joint attacks. That's pretty.
That's what
neat
I'm saying. The
thing.
tag
I
team,
did like that.
It evolves. It like your skills
Yeah.
evolves.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
You get like a tag team attack,
Then-
where like your mage can usually cast fireball, but then
Yeah.
you learn heat wave, which takes the girl into account too, and you can only use that heat wave spell if the girl is available. Meaning if she's dead or if she's asleep, you cannot actually use it. So that's a pretty neat mechanic. I did.
It
like that.
reverts back to the original skill.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But like, it's not as strategic as you guys made it sound. Like it's a
It
very
is.
simple system.
It is. It is.
Just.
If
spam
I want
Heat
an
Wave and
enemy
you'll
not
be
to hit
fine.
me, if I want an enemy not to hit me, pocket sand them.
No fucking pocket Sam, man. That success rate is like 15%, if anything.
But it's
It's
there
useless,
it's
man.
there if you are successful.
Nah,
Then-
man. Every RPG Maker player knows the enemy can't hurt you if they're dead. Fuck blind, fuck pockets, and just kill them.
Okay. And I do agree it don't work on bosses. Cause I tried it on the pirate queen.
They never work on bosses.
Look,
Any
man,
kind
in
of
the
like-
sewer, you're fighting up to 6 enemies. What am I gonna do with a single target blind?
Well, maybe there should be like a pocket.
You
sand,
right, though.
like,
You right.
Explosion.
What am I gonna do with that shit? Like, just use heat wave, one shot like half of them. Like, what am I gonna do with a single target blind that works like 20% of the time?
Well,
What's that gonna do?
I mean, you gotta strategize your best moves, bro. I mean,
Yeah,
that's-
just kill them is the best move. Like, it's not working on bosses, and I'm fighting 6 enemies. What's the point of blinding one of them?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. So in your game, do not create blind skill or any pocket sand abilities in your game. Unless it's an AoE
Make it
skill.
useful. Yeah, you gotta make it useful somehow.
You gotta
And that's
make-
the hard part. Like,
Yeah.
making a blind is hard. Because you either overdo it and they never hit you again as long as they're blind, or the blind chance is so low that nobody's ever gonna use that shit.
I could see it being useful in an ATB system where you knock them back to the beginning of the ATB bar or something
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like that. Yeah, that's useful. That's universally useful then. But in this game, like when you're fighting 6 enemies and it's not working on bosses, like just use the fucking flame pillar and kill the thing. Like, why would you blind it first?
Neg status attached should always work on bosses. No, I disagree. Because I played one game where you could make the final boss go to sleep.
Yeah, you gotta balance it right. Like my bosses are not always status immune. Like my golem is stun immune because he's fucking stoned. But other than that, like you can stun my bosses, right? Why not? You just gotta balance it right.
Single target blind equals. Hey, Go RPG. I don't know why you're here, my guy, but your country is messing my country up right now with all this smoke and from that fire in Canada. Need to get that underway so I could go outside and see the sky. But right now I can't see the sky right now, so tighten up, my guy. All right, he said. Single target blind equals very effective for shutting down a strong melee attack. Okay. I have a mob with high HP in my game, and those status effects are great on them. Yeah, for mob enemies, yeah, but not bosses. Not bosses.
I'm okay with bosses as long as you it doesn't go too far where
You just gotta balance it right. We gotta work around it. You can create special things for the bosses. Like maybe the boss is not immune to blind, but maybe he has a potion for it or whatever. Like you can make interesting things. You just gotta balance it right so it works. If you can fucking sleep spam your boss, well, you fucking messed it up then. Of course.
Well, yeah, and who's to say that? But who's to say that they didn't figure it out? Oh, you figured out how to defeat them, and it doesn't always require slashing with the sword. There's different ways to defeat an enemy. So whatever.
Absolutely. I actually hate bosses that are just immune to everything. That's so stupid. Like, why do I have these skills then? Boss is fucking immune to poison, immune to blind, immune to everything. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, it makes me not want to use the skills because I'm like, oh yeah, it doesn't work on them.
Yeah, so, it's not gonna work anyway. Let's just spam attack instead. Like, no.
Okay.
Make it interesting.
I felt the gems were useless too. I mean, it may not be me, but I sold them. I did the fire. I did the fire gem with my wizard. Of course, it scales off your intellect for that class, and it was the weakness of that enemy. Did 17 damage. Where Jake,
but it's AOE, right?
No, it's a single. It's a single.
Target.
Yeah, single target. So that's useless.
I just sold them because I'm not using items in battles anyway. I never use these combat items in no game ever. Like, I just sold them. Fuck that shit.
You're so gamer.
I sold them too because whenever I do use them, they're always worse than the skills you have. So.
Yeah, usually that happens exactly that. Like, they're just fucking, they just fucking suck, and then you just wasted a turn.
But overall, I mean, like, they did everything right with the battle. They got secret bosses. Like I said,
I only found one, like in the hidden area, that ogre lady. I didn't see any other like hidden bosses.
But I'm pretty sure they're consistent throughout the whole game, not just one secret boss. So
probably.
I'm not sure how much they got. So let me rephrase that. They have a secret boss so far.
In the demo.
They have a secret boss you can find for exploring. Then you get a really cool item for defeating them. I'm not gonna tell you what the item is, but you guys could.
I didn't go back yet. Like, I don't think I can even beat her at my level yet.
Yeah, you can. Oh, I forgot you're playing on. You playing on hard, yeah.
When I first met her, I tried and she was just one-shotting me. I'm not sure if I can actually beat her yet after the pirates.
Yeah.
But speaking of bosses, I was kind of disappointed at that enemy lure item you can get. Like, I was hoping for a boss fight when I used that, like kind of like the magic lamp in Final Fantasy, where you can fight Diablos.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting something like that, like getting a strong boss fight or like semi-boss fight, something interesting. But nah, it's just a fucking random encounter. That was boring.
Oh, really? I got that. I didn't use it though. So
I guess it depends on the area where you use it. So I used it in the sewer, and I just got a random sewer encounter that's like 5 enemies or some shit like that. It was not worth it.
Oh, okay.
Like, especially on hardest difficulty, I'm using more like resources and shit to fight these enemies, but I'm not getting anything out of it really because it's just a random encounter. Like, there's no really item drops or skills or anything I can grab from there.
Well, that's why I'm glad I sold it then, because I didn't end up using the monster lure thing. I sold it.
Yeah, that was a bit disappointing. And one thing before I forget about it, before we move on from the battles, I kind of wished like Sarah had like a taunt ability or something that increases her aggro. Because her she can counterattack, right? Her MP recharge skill is essentially a repost, but like you can use that, but when she's not getting hit, it's kind of useless. So I wish it would also like increase her aggro, so the other guys are not getting one shot all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's what Freya does. Freya has
Yeah,
like a taunt ability, I
yeah.
think.
Freya
Yeah, but
has
she's
it.
not always with you though. So I wish like Sarah to me made a tank impression, right? She's sword and shield and shit like that. She has like the counter ability and whatnot. She has a shield skill too. I was hoping I could do like a taunting stuff so I can like direct the enemy attacks at her primarily, but kind of didn't happen too much.
So Gaul mentioned, he said that he liked the front battles. He liked the way these front battles are done. I like seeing the animated sprites at the bottom.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good. Like I really don't care which one it is, like side view, front view. As long as it looks nice, it's fine with me.
Yeah, but I like to see my battlers. Be honest, I don't want to see no portrait screen. Which they really did a great job with the the HUD menu. Everything looks good. You know, it's not all in your face, not too big. It's tucked in a nice corner where you could just focus on the battle. You know what I mean? So
I wish they had when you use the snow shield, you get a state with the number of shield points you. What I would have preferred instead if they showed the shield amount on the HP bar, so I can actually see how much that is.
Yeah, because
the number is just that. It's just a number.
Yeah, I agree, and I agree, and this where it comes with the static, because some of the bosses you couldn't even see their shield amount because the way they're positioned, and when you target them, like the menus is covering that. You know what I mean? Because the state is above their head. You know, like the it's above them. That way you can't really see like how much barrier they have left. So I thought that's
exactly what I did in my jam game. Like I had a custom edit made for the Morg Hunter HUD, so I can visually display my barriers on the HP bar, because everything else is just not ideal. Like what am I gonna do with a state with a number on? Like I gotta wait until, because they don't ever show all states at once, right? They cycle through the states on your actors, so you gotta wait until the barrier state pops up to check how many barrier points you have to decide if you want to refresh that barrier or give it to someone else instead. And it's just not ideal. Like a visual barrier on the HP bar would have made things much clearer.
Yeah, I agree, my guy. I agree. You speak in truth there. All right. So we agreed the music was great. The story is pretty interesting. Basic, but your standard RPG Maker story. The battle system.
I wouldn't call it basic though. Like a basic story is not that.
Okay.
I believe like basic is just like boring, right? Basic, like heard that.
You know what I mean? You got your hero, you got your antagonist, you got your party. Then you go through the motions. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I won't say basic. I would say well designed story. Well designed story. I actually like it. Like each moment got me intrigued to wanted to play more. Wasn't a fan of the pirate stuff until she bamboozled us. You know what I'm saying? Until we got bamboozled. I'm like, oh Lord. You know what I mean? What?
Oh, that pirate stuff was so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's pirates though. It's pirates.
I thought the pirates were fine. Whatever.
Yeah, but the interaction to me kind of made little sense. Like you go in there, and then you lose your money. All right, they're pirates. I can see that, but then you just barge in there, and I was hoping for a fight, and then they just kind of don't.
They surrounded you. There was too
Yeah,
much.
I was hoping for a fight. I was ready to go, and then they just don't fight, and then they
Yeah.
just send you into the fucking sewers, and then they fight you all of a sudden. Like, huh? I don't know, man. That interaction was kind of a little bit weird to me, but it's not the story that made me want to play this, really. It's really more the characters. So, because I didn't really see much of the story yet, right? I visited like a second town, I did a dungeon, and it's like the meat and potatoes just happen to happen right now, right? The hometown gets attacked, and that's probably where the story actually picks up first. Until that point, like 2 hours in, there's not too much story going on, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I think the overall plot is actually kind of a slow burn, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Like, it's not the story that's driving me here. It's the aesthetic, the fun battles, and the interesting characters.
I don't think it was that bad, but I get what you guys saying.
It's not bad, but
It's not bad.
It's just not the driving force here. I don't think.
Because like there's some games, right, that have really good stories, but maybe the gameplay is really jank, but you can still forgive it because the story is what's driving that game. And
that's why I
then
hate JRPGs.
Yeah, and then you have sometimes the opposite where the gameplay is really good, but like I don't care about the people, I don't care about the story, whatever. And anything in between. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens with JRPGs so many times. Like, I'm really fucking enjoying the story, and I want to see what's happening next. Like, you're that close to the next plot twist, but you can't get to it because there's a fucking random encounter every 2 steps, and
Remind me of Final Fantasy X. Yeah.
I fucking hate it when they do that. I hate it so much. It's different in this game. Like, the story isn't too interesting 2 hours into the game, but the gameplay is good. Like, it looks nice, and you got all the exploration stuff going on, and you're getting sprinkled with items, and you find little hidden corners and shit like that. So it's not a story that really drives you to play this here. It's really, the gameplay is just really solid.
Yeah. I agree. Bit fat. So you guys already know, I don't know, everybody know, but this is a commercial game. This is a commercial game. It's on sale right now. I believe it's like $12 on sale. So definitely, if you are,
let me check.
I think
we got a sale. 15% off. It's like €10 for me, so it's like $12 for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Or 11. Yeah, I think it's definitely worth it though. If I didn't have a key, I might actually have bought this because I don't know. I actually like it.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
It has a full. Go ahead, Cychronic.
Oh, I was gonna say I liked it too overall. Yeah.
Yeah. It has a full price of $14.99. Full price of $14.99, and this is a commercial game, guys. This is a commercial game.
Ryan asking like they
how long is it?
Don't tell you. Yeah, they actually don't tell you on the store page, which is good, I believe.
Yeah.
Like everyone and their mom's game is like experience X hours of story, and that's the most stupid thing you
get
can
100 hours out of get 100 hours of gameplay.
Yeah, that's the most stupid thing you can open your game description with. Like, don't do that shit.
Then when you play the
Advertise
game,
what makes your game unique and not fucking playtime hours.
Then when you play the game, you doing the same quest. You doing a lot of fetch stuff. Nah.
Yeah.
Get me some herbs from the forest.
Yeah, and this store page they keep it short. Like they give you the synopsis and then give you like 4 bullet points of what you can do in this game, and that's it. And that's how you sell your game.
So
they did it really professional.
So my gameplay was it's different when you stream. So I say the average demo, if I stopped it, the part where I'm at, if that was the end of the demo, I would say that's a good 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
I got a good 4 to 4.5 hours in on it.
Yeah, and he's playing the full version.
Yeah, I was playing 2 hours and I just got back to the hometown. So if that were the demo had ended, like that would have been perfect for me, I believe.
Yeah.
Like just
yeah.
before you get back to hometown, end demo. Like that would have been like the perfect amount, I believe. It's just right before the plot thickens too, so you get that cliffhanger going for the demo. So yeah, but I mean, we had the full game. I don't know where the demo ended. I haven't played the demo. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. So this developer, I've been researching this developer, because they're a commercial developer. After playing the game, everything looks really indie-ish,
Yeah.
It doesn't look RPG Maker, to be honest, unless you recognize some sound effects or music. But other than that, they try to take away all the default stuff that you can out of their game.
I heard some default sounds, but overall though, they did a good job of that, of making it feel like its own thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to replace everything, like especially sounds. Like some sounds are just good.
They're fine. So I mean, there's no reason to take it out. Because
but they
like the knock sound.
Yeah, I definitely say this game definitely has made the jump from like just another RPG Maker game to an indie game.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. This is a proper and legit professionally made indie game that's absolutely worth the asking price. And suddenly everything is quiet.
Not because somebody's at my door, and I'm not going down there. I'm looking at them right through the camera. Yeah, they definitely did a good job separating themselves from the majority with the minority. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, they mama create a game with Violet. Everybody and they mama create an RPG Maker game and put a price on there and don't even really change the database or the items. They still got stimulant. They still got dispel herb. You know what I mean? They still got the knock noise. Like, and they'll put $10 on there. You know what I mean? And try to get a sale. But this developer definitely went beyond the Call of Duty to try to get their game, standing out. Even with the battle back, the battle scenes look great. And a way they was able to do this and take a lot of maybe burden off their shoulder, they started a Kickstarter. They had a Kickstarter for this game, guys. And like I always tell you guys, y'all need a Kickstarter if you got a heavily budget game, because it could take a lot of pressure off your back.
Yep.
So this developer
made $20,000 with their Kickstarter.
This developer had 360 backers. It made $20,470 in the 1 month campaign. 1 month campaign. They had everything that they were supposed to have to advertise this game, which is another form of marketing. They marketed on Kickstarter and made plenty of money. Now,
but they also put in the work. Like, it's not like you can just start a Kickstarter and get rich.
It looks good. The way the Kickstarter looks, I would have
I mean,
backed.
they-
I would have backed this. I would have backed this game.
Yeah, but they didn't just run a Kickstarter. They also had a lot of marketing going. Like they have an article about the Kickstarter in PC Gamer and whatnot. You gotta put the advertising.
I just saw that.
into it.
I just saw that one. Yep.
Otherwise, your Kickstarter is not gonna do anything.
And
So
I
there's
agree.
definitely been some legwork.
I agree. You definitely got to do. You definitely got to do the groundwork as well. You just can't just post on the site and hopefully it gets traction like that. I agree with Simple Gaming, 100%. But this person went out to the public with a plan. You know what I mean? He asked for $11,000 for graphics, enemies and character sprites, battle backdrops, CGs, Kickstarter rewards, etc., etc. $11,000 budget. $3,500 for the music and sound effects. I heard custom music. Not sure about sound effects. Maybe there's some in there. I don't know. $2,500 for quality assurance, QA. Maybe he had to pay testers. You know what I mean? Maybe he had to get an editor, to look after, to proof his game. I don't know. And $3,000 for taxes and Kickstarter fees. That was his plan. And the game is planned to release on Steam, which is already on PlayStation.
Yeah, the game is done. Yeah, it's
PlayStation, Nintendo Switch. So they're trying to do big things with this game. So, given the fact that this is coming out on console, I would definitely buy it. I would definitely like to play this on a console game. Preferably PlayStation because of the trophy support. What
Speaking
happened?
of consoles, they also, since I mentioned it in every other game, this game has WASD controls. Everyone, you gotta have that, and it's on by default.
Oh, you hear that,
Yes.
guys?
Yes, you need that.
If you
can
don't
just
have-
pick the game up on your PC and you can just use WASD like any other civilized person, that's a good sign.
If you don't have WASD and Simple Gaming buy your game and it doesn't have it, he will refund it. So I'm just letting you guys know right now, have it by default or you're going to get a refund with a thumbs down. So I'm just letting you guys know. But this game is a prime example of what you should do to advertise your game or market your game. This guy's everywhere. Like he's putting his game out like his life depends on it.
But we don't know if he's alone. He's the developer, but it also says like Team Bewitched. So maybe they have a marketing guy, maybe they have a Kickstarter guy. Because like looking at what kind of stuff they pulled, like with all the PC Gamer articles and whatnot, it's borderline impossible to do that on your own. Like I'm trying, and it's so hard.
But
So
you
maybe they're not alone.
never know. You never know. And it also depends who run across your post too.
I mean,
It
but,
also
like,
depends
even getting an article on a gaming outlet.
Cause if I'm pretty sure there's probably some podcasters or writers out there that's article writers that's going through these websites and looking for games to write about, and they see a good one, they'll probably reach out and say, hey, would you mind doing an interview?
I'm not sure about that.
You never know, bro. You never know. You
Are they
never
really
you
reaching
never
out when
know.
when there's like 1,000 games coming out every day, or are they gonna let the developers contact them instead?
I
I
don't
don't
know. Well,
Well, what happened? I mean, what happened? I mean, what happens too? Sometimes somebody's streaming your game, and then if you happen to show up on the stream, and even if they didn't let you know, you can talk with them on the stream, and then then they're like, hey, come to the podcast or whatever. That happens too. So
Yeah, but that's pure luck.
it's luck.
Nothing-
Yeah.
That's nothing you can like depend on.
No.
They,
well,
they,
well,
did
I
a,
mean,
they did a lot of legwork advertising this game for sure.
yeah. Yeah.
They did.
And that likely costs some money too.
Yeah, I don't know what they did. Like, I would like to know specifically how and what they did, because this whole marketing thing is kind of a mysterium. Everybody tells you gotta market, but how exactly do you do that?
that's why you
Like,
ask.
nobody knows. Nobody fucking knows.
You
can
gotta
whoever
ask.
you want. Nobody knows. You don't know. I don't know. Psychronic doesn't know.
I've learned a lot, but I haven't.
Yeah, you learned
yet.
something. You went with a publisher. That's one way. Yeah, but we all know that. But how else does marketing work? Do you hire like a marketing guy, or do you pay Google ads? Like, how exactly does it actually work? And nobody really gives you a clear answer.
Right, and even with the publisher, it's like I'm asking them, like, so can you show me some of this marketing, like where
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
and then they can't, and so it's like, but then you see that you get 25,000 wish lists, and it's like, okay,
Yeah, and nobody
something's
knows how
happening,
it happened.
but-
It just
but-
happened. Somehow,
But like, all right, like, is there some kind of backroom deal or something? What's
Don't you
going on
guys
here?
know? Don't you guys know? With Google Ads or any type of you could market any link that you give them. So if you have a Steam link or whatnot, and you give it to Google, they can market that link. So whatever. They do it all the time. When you watch a YouTube video, you see the ad
that
of a
doesn't work.
Pacific brand. Then
That
there,
doesn't work.
you never
At
know. You
I
don't
tried. I
you don't
tried. It doesn't
know.
work.
I have an
I
ad
tried.
blocker on, so I don't see any of those ads.
I fucking tried Google Ads. It's useless.
It's
I tried
it's
it too.
hit
I tried it too, and it was definitely
it's
useless.
hit
I-
it's hit and miss. The
I
goal
I ran it an entire month.
the goal is I agree. Like the goal is you to pay a view per what is it view per clicks or clicks per view, something like
Yeah,
that.
you pay per view.
Yeah.
Right, but when you got so many bot accounts, like they're gonna count that as a clip,
Yeah.
even if it's not a real.
It's not
person.
even happening. I ran that shit for an entire month. I didn't have a single click.
There you go. Padre says more than that. You have to know where to target. See, the problem is when they show your ad, and I think this is how it works. Let's say if I click on the video, if that ad is shown, you know what I mean? I don't even have to watch the whole ad. I could just skip it. They're going to consider that as a view. You know what I mean?
As long as they watch it until the skip button comes, that's a view.
Yeah.
But it's
yeah.
also worse than that. There's a lot of bot accounts, and that counts as a view too, even if it's not
Yeah,
a
it
real
is.
person.
So you don't think
It's useless, really.
you don't think these advertisers, these marketers are using bots?
I think they are using bots. I mean, I think
Could be.
that's a really good way to get a lot of stuff out there without having to do it yourself. And so why wouldn't they use bots if they could get away with it?
They are.
Yes.
They are because
But, like, Google
everybody.
Ads is not the way. As an indie developer, don't use Google Ads. Like it may work for like multi-million-dollar
No,
companies, but
No, the way that it works is that you develop some kind of web application that then uses Google's API or whatever to then post to a bunch of places, and so the bots are doing most of the legwork if you're spreading your material, but the trick is doing it in a way where it's not coming off as spam or illegitimate activity. And so but I definitely think bots are involved for sure. I think half the views you see on any YouTube video are bots.
And it depends who sees it too.
Yeah.
That's why
And
it's
so
best. That's why it's best to go to legitimate groups that there's lots of activity and advertise there. You know what I mean?
You gotta. I think like Tron already said it. You need a press kit and a press list. So yeah, I know that much too. So, but what exactly is a press list? Is it just a list of random websites? So essentially, what you do is you shotgun approach your marketing. You just contact everyone and their mama to cover your game in some form. Either stream it or do a blog post, do a something like anything. You just shotgun your shit everywhere. And that's how you do marketing. But the problem is, like, how do you get these lists, right? Like, how do you know what sites to reach out to, what streamers to contact and whatnot? And that's why there's people out there who do that shit for you. But you gotta find these people too.
The question is,
there's guys studying that shit. They have these lists.
The question is, are you willing to spend that money? That's the thing. Like that's what scares a lot of people, is spending that money for something that they know is going to be a hit or not. You know, they're scared to make that chance.
I mean, like, I'm fully believing if you're not willing to spend money on your game, you're not taking it seriously.
Agreed.
That's just how it is.
Agreed.
You can make a hobby game and you can try and sell your hobby game, but it's not gonna be all that successful, no matter what you do. You're just one person. You cannot do everything. You can try, but it's not gonna work. You're gonna die before you finish anything. If you're gonna try and make your art and make your own plugins and make your marketing and make the game and make a Kickstarter and make the Kickstarter banners and make everything yourself, you're gonna die of old age before the Kickstarter even launches.
You know, it's a possibility, but
yeah, you can try. You can do as much as you can on your own. But like even you, Psychronic, you didn't publish your game. You reached out to a publisher because it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the marketing side I know is my weakest area. So basically, finding somebody who can help me with that is what I would need to do.
But you're RPG Maker dev. RPG Maker devs don't spend money on their games.
Oh yeah, I'm willing to spend money on my game. I just want to make sure that it's money well spent.
That's the difference, man.
Have y'all
make all the games you want? If you don't
have y'all thought about doing this? Have y'all thought about doing this though? Go to your local mom and pop video game store and market your game with them.
We don't even have these anymore. Like,
that's
like early 2000s, man.
Like cool stuff. Maybe GameStop. Well, GameStop's a corporation. It probably won't work. But you know, your mom and pop stores. You know, your smaller stores. You know, it don't even.
No. It's not going to work because the thing is that this is a digital product, and your audience is anyone who can speak your language, who likes these type of games, and so any way for your game to actually get found by a larger audience will have to be over the internet, in some sense, because your local GameStop or whatever is only one town.
And that's the problem. And that's the problem because, you know, you never know who's going to get your game. It takes referral. So you don't think that one person will buy your game.
I think they would.
Listen what I'm saying. That one person in your town will buy your game, not knowing what type of influence they have or what type of group they're in. And they could be on Facebook and they play your game. They be like, "Oh, guys, y'all need to check this game out." You know what I'm saying? It's called Starship. Y'all need to try it out. He in the Facebook group probably with 10,000 members, 300 people from all different places buy your, download your game and play it. And because that person has influence in that group. You don't know who's going to buy your game. That you can't just limit to one area, you know what I mean?
And in fact, when people sometimes I'm at the fucking grocery store or I'm at 7-Eleven or something, and So they're like, well, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm working on my game. Oh, you make games? Yeah, here's my game. I actually like these games. I'll check it out. And then later, I have had people play my game locally when they asked what I was doing. And I'm like, I'm making my game. And so far, they've liked it. Anybody who's actually likes that type of game. But yeah, I mean, local is a thing too. But I'm just saying, it's a mixed approach. You gotta
I
do it all.
seen one person had a car had like the magnets and stuff on their car advertising their Twitch channel.
Right, that could.
Then when you go to the Twitch channel, they had a lot of followers.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
everything can work.
It can work. You just gotta strategize on what works for you. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense to try to market in your hometown. It makes sense. Then you go abroad. A lot of successful people market in their hometown at first. Most businesses market in their hometown. Then when they get that traction, then they'll start, expanding their business. But this is video game. Like you said, this is digital, whatever. Anybody can download it from anywhere. You know what I mean? You don't have any physical copy, but why not? Like you got flyers. You could pass out flyers. You could do MailChimp and set up mail lists. You could go on different groups. You could advertise your game. Even the Tales of Volgar game, they're in a Facebook group, getting a lot of traction. From people that's not even affiliated with RPG Maker. You know what I mean? So you never know until you actually do it and see the results.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like, everything can work. That's not the problem. The problem is the amount of work you gotta put in as a single person. Like, how much of my time can I possibly dedicate to advertising? Like, go around town putting flyers everywhere, go on Facebook making
how much businesses spend for marketing?
Yeah, of course. But do you know
millions
because
and thousands?
I don't know anyone who's gonna do my marketing.
That's why
who's gonna do it. Do you know somebody?
That's why you gotta educate yourself. Yourself.
What am I supposed to educate myself on? Like, looking for freelance marketer? I don't know. I'm not getting anyone from Fiverr because most of them are scams.
All right, we live in a world where you either do it yourself or pay somebody to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm gonna pay somebody. Do you know someone? I don't.
You gotta look in your area and maybe look for a broker, like a firm, marketing firm or somebody, and be like, hey,
right.
Look,
I'm gonna look at some marketing firm in my tiny ass town. They don't even know what a Steam is. Yeah, I'm gonna let them market.
So then you gotta look at the demographics. How many gamers in Germany versus gamers in Japan? Different audiences that you can get.
My game's not even in German.
But
well, that's why right now, that's why I'm localizing my game, because I want it to get to a larger audience. So I'm prioritizing languages that, likely the people who are there don't speak English like commonly. Whereas, see, like, that's probably why most of the European languages would be on the back burner for me, because they mostly speak English anyway.
Yeah,
so.
we mostly speak English. That's why I chose it. Like, European countries, they're pretty good covered if you have English.
Listen to Padre. Listen, SG. Oh, he said SG is right. It's tough when it's one person. It's tough when one person running it all. I mean, it is tough.
If you know someone who can successfully market my game, give me his Discord.
Yeah, it is Square Pillow. It is tough when you're a solo guy, but you got to do what you got to do. I'm pretty sure a lot of successful business people started solo, and they got to the point where they needed that extra hands and stuff like that. Video games shouldn't be any different. One, you did the hard part was making the game and finishing the game. You know what I mean? Without any really coding experience. Cause that's what RPG Maker is, right? You can make a game without any coding experience. Now, if you want a quality game, then you may need some extra knowledge. You know what I mean? But when everything is done, when you dispatch your game, then you gotta think about, how can I make my game more attractive to people either online or whatever. You get artwork done because people is attracted to artwork. You may have a soundtrack, that they can download, listen to the music. You know what I mean? You offer incentives for them. Maybe they download their game. You add sales, you put it on discount, whatever. You try to bring them to you. And another thing, you give out free keys, not to everybody, but those who like RPGs and are fan of RPGs. You give it to a streamer. The streamer is only going to worry about streaming the game to his audience, to their audience. That's all they care about, and they probably won't even touch the game ever again. But you give it to an ordinary guy who can spread word of mouth to their friends to try this game. That's who you need to be going for.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with that, and that's definitely what I do too. Is anybody who's remotely interested, for
that's
real.
the easiest part, really.
Giving
out free keys is easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and ultimately you want more people to play your game. So the word of mouth thing is a good thing. It has mixed results depending on the situation. But to hold your key back and be like, no, actually, I know you really like my game and you want to try it out, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to ask $9.99 from you. Sure, the game's worth $9.99, but it makes it a little more awkward. It's easier to just be like, hey, yeah, you want to try this out? Here's a key.
And to a lot of people, $9.99 is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. $9.99 is not a small fee of cash. You know what I mean? To some people.
It depends a little bit, I guess. I wouldn't give out a key to just everyone who comes asking. Who knows, man? I would check who they are, at least. If they're a regular person, sure, have a fucking key, but you never know. With all these spams and shit you're getting these days, as soon as you out yourself as a game developer, I would be a little bit cautious, at least.
Yeah, cause to be honest, you got a lot of scammers that do marketing on Discord.
So fucking many. You can't even post a fucking key in a public channel on your Discord. It's gonna be snagged by a fucking bot without you even knowing.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. But I think the best way for you guys to actually get secrets of advertising is marketing is ask maybe a small developer who has sold pretty decent, got good reviews. Just ask them what they've done. Maybe they'll tell you. Maybe they won't.
I'm working with a guy.
You know what I mean?
My Kickstarter.
So look at other Kickstarters and seeing what they're, especially successful ones, and seeing what they're posting on their Kickstarter that could be attracting, other backers. We got the answer in our faces, but we tend to overlook it. Research.
Overlooking for me, it's just I don't want to do the research.
Research your competition. You got to research your competition. You have to do it.
I want to do it differently. I want to go the paid route. That's the thing, right? I'm ready to pay for someone to market my game. I don't want to deal with that shit. I don't want to study forever and learn all that shit. I want to pay somebody.
Or
there's no easy way to find somebody to do that. You still gotta fucking educate yourself to even find somebody to pay. What the fuck is that shit?
And you're right.
Well, I kind of have a few views on this. So, like, for example, the game I'm currently working on, Rebellion, right? Starship Rebellion. There might actually be a period of time where the game is essentially done, and then I'm like, okay, time to market it now, and it might be a few months before it actually releases, even if it's already done. Because it seems like a lot of times this shit comes down to the first week that you launch, or
Yeah,
whatever.
absolutely.
And so it's better to like even have it done and go maybe even start working on the next one until you've figured out how you want to market it so that it
Oh
can be a
yeah,
successful launch.
I only gotta do it differently because I got a Kickstarter. I
But,
gotta
but,
start earlier.
but
with that
I
shit.
think when I get it done, I'm actually going to just dedicate time to to marketing it like straight until release when it's already
Yeah,
done.
yeah, yeah. You can do that too.
And do like a shotgun approach, right?
Yep.
Rather than like, okay, I got the game done now, I'm going to release it when I haven't marketed it at all, really. In fact, my marketing has slid because I don't even do as many posts as I used to about my game because I'm like working on it, right? So like, but I have to do it as some kind of campaign or something. But this time I'm going to have to figure it out myself. I don't want to go through a publisher again. They kind of, it felt kind of a little exploitive, but it wasn't. But once I figure that out, I can do it again, right? So that's what I'm not. If it's not a successful launch, but the game is still a good game, whatever, that's fine with me too. But I do want to have a successful launch, so that's what I'm gonna do marketing wise. Because I have to just dedicate the time to it to be consistent and stuff. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
See,
Spin it up, like finish the game first, then market. That can work before you release it. That's the important part.
The thing with your publisher, Psychronic, you had a agreement with them. You know what I mean? So basically, you didn't really have to put anything down. It was based on.
Right. Yeah, they took 50%.
Yeah.
And it's not the whole franchise. It was only Origins, which I spent 3 months developing. So it wasn't bad. I learned a lot, and I have a game to show for it, and the reviews were good and everything. So I'm just gonna one up that further this time. That's how I'm thinking. I'm thinking about the future, not the past.
Yeah, you learn from experience, which is good. Because a lot of people haven't experienced that. They didn't even finish a game yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to sound like rude or anything, but a lot of people didn't cross that finish line yet. Those who have crossed the finish line either don't really care about, commercializing their game, and they just want people to enjoy their game. So we can understand that. But, with most business, whether you're in the game developing or whatever, marketing is one of the things that is very important for you to get discovered. So me personally, I'll be asking a whole bunch of questions, especially if we're all in the same goal, because I'm pretty sure there's money out there for everybody. And people know that their game isn't going to last forever. So why not share the knowledge with others? You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure a lot of people will share that knowledge. It's going about seeking that knowledge and asking that right person is what you guys need to be focusing on. Not saying Harlequin, I'm just saying like everybody. If they don't know. You know what I mean? If you could ask somebody to help with your game, like, hey, how can you help me with my mapping? I'm pretty sure you can ask that same question to somebody with experience in marketing.
Yeah, I share whatever. Like if anybody wants to know how I pulled off anything, I'll just tell them everything. I got nothing to hide. I've even just given my project file to people too.
Like that developer we had when we played the clock time game. He pretty much was willing to share all his information on how to port games over.
Yeah.
And y'all his competition in a way, you know what I mean? Because you're other developers. So he was willing to share and educate on the process and how to get a contract with Nintendo.
Yeah, that was cool.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's all about going to ask the right question to the right person. Maybe, I'm pretty sure there may be Discords, there may be Reddits, subreddits to join and get that education. But I understand with Simple Gaming, you know, he want to be more focused on his game and not even worry about he rather pay somebody, you know, to do the work for him. And that's fine. That's fine. You know? But
I mean, I don't have the privilege of waiting until Origins is done with the marketing, right? That would be easier because then the game is done. You can stop opening the fucking RPG Maker and start opening the fucking social media website.
Yeah.
But I can't do that because I'm trying to run a Kickstarter, right? So I gotta advertise even earlier. I gotta advertise the process of making it. I gotta advertise the Kickstarter to the people. So I gotta do both at the same time. And I can only do so much. There's only so many hours in a day. I gotta work on the game and I gotta do... All I can handle is like Twitter. I can't make a fucking Facebook account too and whatever, I don't know, Tumblr and Grindr and whatnot. I don't have the time in the day to
You said Grindr? You said Grindr?
Grindr.
Yeah, it took me a minute, huh? I'm gonna go advertise my game on Grindr. I don't care.
Advertise your game on Grindr.
Yeah, I mean, you already taking the chance with people on the internet as well, because there's a lot of scammers out there. There's a lot of people say, yeah, I'll do it for you, but don't do anything. Or they'll be like, oh, they don't got time. That's why I say, like, legitimate companies is probably your best bet that would guarantee you your money.
Any company that does advertising for like a single person developer, I've never heard of it.
I don't know.
Everybody is just like, there's so many companies, yeah, but give me a fucking name.
Of like somebody who can actually...
Is there any on Fiverr?
Give me a fucking name. Give me a fucking link. Don't just be like, there's so many companies. Yeah, nobody can do anything with that information.
Is there any, like, on Fiverr? Like, nobody offers services on that site?
They do, but like it's a lot of times they don't do anything. And
Fiverr is more miss than hit.
It can, a lot of times it's either bots or it's actually nothing, especially on the game side. Sometimes you get some decent people that can help with your YouTube videos and stuff, but with the gaming stuff, any of the game advertising promotion stuff I've ever seen or tried on Fiverr was just nothing. It was just like, you might as well throw your money down the drain.
Oh wow, that's sad.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a shame.
I was also contacting like Two Thumbs Publishing, which is like a self-proclaimed micro publisher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got one response from them, which took like 3 days, and then yeah, that's 2 weeks ago. Like, still no response anymore. Like, yeah, so much for that.
Wow.
It's I don't know, man. That's why I'm saying don't just be like there's millions of companies that do advertising. Like, no, there's not, because if there was, you would be able to give me a name of one of those companies or give me a link where I can actually contact somebody. Everybody has that wake shit information that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, you right.
Yeah,
you are. I mean, it's not gonna be.
That.
It's not gonna be easy. That's for sure. It's not gonna be easy. Not gonna be easy. But
how is it not gonna be easy though? Like, when there are companies that make a living by advertising for people, how is it so hard to find any of them?
I think it's more of trusting than actually finding. Because the society that we live in, you know a lot of scammers exist. You know, people's already having a hard time at that. Unless you go to a firm that you can see, then you're taking a big chance with somebody online. and especially you
Maybe
can't
I'm just gonna
see
get a publisher at some point. Maybe I'm just gonna run the
like
Kickstarter and
like if I can't sit down with you in the office and you got a suit and tie on, you know what I mean, or a polo shirt with a clipboard in your hand, and you can't show me like numbers or portfolios that you have done, and you asking for hundreds of dollars, nah, heck nah, no sir.
shows up in a fucking sweatshirt.
Then they either should charge you by hour or for a campaign. Like, this is our campaign. We would put you on our site where we have a high traffic of people that would come. We'll put you on maybe another person's website where there's a lot of traffic, and we just show your ad on their website, you know, because they're affiliated. They'll get that website get paid by showing your ad. You know, that's how it typically works, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, as I said, man, maybe I'm just gonna run the Kickstarter, and once that's done, maybe I'm just gonna go and get a publisher, and that's it. I don't know.
yeah, but definitely
Might be worth it.
keep us in the loop. Like, you know, if you want to share your experience and your journey with those who ask, definitely
I'm giving all the information to anyone who wants to know it, man.
Yeah.
It's not a secret.
that's how it's supposed to be. You know, you help one another, especially with the community. But you know, the way everything is set up, you know, it seems like there's a lot of clicks and people's only out for themselves. You know, they're only out for themselves. But this is the main reason why RTP do exist, because, you know, we feel like giving feedback and advice to developers, small developers, is really crucial. You know what I mean? And
Kind of funny what Wick just said, with that Jit never saw RPG Maker game not be funded. Like, that's kind of true. Every Kickstarter from an RPG Maker game I saw has been funded. And ironically, none of these developers are part of like any RPG Maker community though. They all loners, they all lone wolves making the game. Which is kind of funny, isn't it? Like, everyone who's in the community is like, I don't want to spend money on my game. And everyone who's having a successfully funded game on RPG Maker is not part of the community.
yeah, they see the buffoonery in some of these discords. They see it because everybody was out supporting each other, like they say they support. Will be off the chain. Everybody will have the reviews that they're supposed to have. The itch page will be banging. You know what I mean? Even if it's a free game, but it's not like that. You have teams, you have cliques, you got squads that only deal with a certain circle. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Which is sad.
Well,
in
it's
RPG.
kind of ironic, isn't it? Like, only the people that don't participate in any kind of community get the money.
Exactly.
Everyone in the community is just like, nah, it's just a hobby. I don't want to spend no money on my games and shit
Yeah.
like that. There's nobody on our Discord, as far as I know, that's aside from me, that's running a Kickstarter and that's trying to do all that marketing shit. It's just everyone is just doing a hobby on there.
But
Yeah,
those,
well, for me,
Aside from Psychronic, probably.
but at the same time, I don't like that side of it at all. Like the marketing side, I hate it.
Yeah.
But in my brain, I'm like, I gotta get my game done first, though. So that's the part that I'm focusing on right now. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a good stab.
Outside funds, you can absolutely do that and chill out with it.
even though they may not be doing that, but I'm pretty sure that they're considering and they're looking. They're trying to see how you gonna come off. Cause you got DK who's going commercial, then you got other people is probably gonna want to do the same thing. They probably just want to see how you gonna do it.
Yeah, that's how it feels like, man. Like, I'm some kind of fucking pioneer having to test the waters for everybody else.
That's
man.
how it is.
And I'm just here having no fucking clue, trying to find anything, and everyone is just like, yeah, you go ahead. I'm gonna look how it's end up, man.
That's how
how it feels
RPG
like,
Maker
man.
is. You know that's how RPG Maker is.
Fucking snitches everywhere trying to get your shit, and that's what RPG Maker is, man.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Everybody's out for your ass.
Dude, that's what
It's
it
all
is.
good, though.
man.
I'm just gonna do my thing as I usually do, and we're gonna see where it ends up.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, like we could talk about this all freaking day, but this could be I'm going to do my end of the research. I'm going to look if I find some lists, I would definitely share it on the Discord, the RTP server. I would definitely share it there. Whether they're legitimate, and probably if I could get some prices, I'll share all that too. So I'm definitely gonna do my part in that. So this been a heck of an episode.
As I said, I'm working with the one guy who studies like the Kickstarter stuff.
Yeah.
And they're also working with a website that does classes and shit for like for all the marketing stuff, and he's doing it for free for me because he needs a portfolio. So yeah, if that turns out well, I'm also gonna share this guy's name because he'd appreciate some more people, of course. But I want to see if it actually does anything first before I go around and spreading that guy's name, and
He
at
probably
the end of
trying
the
to
day,
get-
it's shit or some shit like that.
He
I'm not
probably
gonna
trying to
do
get in
that.
the firm. Yeah, he probably trying to make a living doing this. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
You got people do pro bono stuff. You know what I mean? They'll do it for free so they get the practice, the footwork. Yeah.
Yep, that's what he does, and yeah, he told me to because I know probably some people on our Discord would like help with like Kickstarter and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna direct people to him just yet because I want to see results first.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm not gonna tell everyone to hit this guy up, and at the end of the day, nothing happens.
Yeah.
That would be bad on my name too. So I'm gonna hold on that.
The real Tron said that I already did the Kickstarter. Now I'm on to marketing. You have to make it a focus. You can't just throw money at the wall and hope for the best.
Oh, you absolutely can. Work so far.
if money is your issue, Kickstarter may solve that problem if it's a good one. You know, but you just gotta advertise and market that Kickstarter the best to your ability. You just can't let it just stay there and hope
I'm
hopeful.
trying, right? I'm doing all these fucking Twitter posts and I'm getting followers and whatnot. I'm not sure how many of these actually transfer to backers, but who knows? I do everything that I can.
Yeah, you never know. You never
all adds
know.
I hope so. I mean, it's not like I could do any more.
Yep, you gotta be hopeful, my guy. You gotta cross your fingers and be whatever the result. Just be proud that you took a chance. That's more success than that. You took the chance to see what would happen, and if it happened, it does. If not, it's still an accomplishment. You know what I mean? Because
Absolutely. I mean, I'm already gambling too. Like I'm running the Kickstarter a bit differently from anyone else.
yeah,
Because like usually what you have in a trailer is like these fast-paced like gameplay snippets. Nobody knows what the fuck is even going on the screen. I'm not doing that. I have a special Kickstarter trailer that's narrated by one of my voice actors and shit like that. It's a bit slower and more informative because it's directed at backers, right? I don't need fast-paced gameplay when they don't even know what the fuck they're looking at.
yeah.
And stuff like that. And I also like people have been recommending me to do MVP demo only, like minimum viable product, basically a tech demo for the Kickstarter. But I'm doing it differently. What I'm trying to do is get the demo to a state of polish where it's exactly placed the same as the full game would. Like there's gonna be everything's voice acted and everything in the demo will be just like the full game, and that's what I'm trying to pull off. I don't know if it's worth it. It obviously costs a lot of money to do that, but maybe it works out. I don't know.
I don't know.
Trying.
Real Tron said, Dad, what do you mean it worked so far? You just spent the past 30 minutes saying you have no idea what to do.
Yeah, I just throw money at the wall and it worked so far.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like with the art and all that and the
Yeah, if I need something, if I need a menu, I'm gonna throw money at the fucking plugin guy and let it happen.
Yeah.
And that's how it works.
But I think
That's
I
how
get,
it works. Yeah.
But I think I get his point too. Like you're throwing your money at the right place, so that where you're getting something.
Yeah,
out of it.
I'm not stupid, of course. I'm not just gonna throw money anywhere, but like most guys, like you, for example, are more like, nah, I'm gonna figure that out myself. I'm gonna spend 2 weeks trying to edit this fucking plugin, so I'm not gonna have to pay anyone, and I'm just gonna hit up my plugin guy and give him a couple of monies, and then the problem is just gonna solve itself.
Yeah, and that's 2 weeks that you
Yeah, it's
lost.
2 weeks where I can spend making my game where you stuck fixing code.
Yeah, I do end up
Depends on
having.
what you want, of course. You're in it for the skill set too. Like that's a big part for you. Like you want to learn all
I
these
wanted
skills.
to get those skills. Yeah.
Exactly. That's not what I want. Like I'm gonna get to coding eventually, but for right now, I just want to finish my demo. I have no time for coding.
My coding though is not really coding. It's more like code chop shop. That's basically how I would describe it. Like taking bits and pieces and cutting pieces out and surgically adding in pieces where they don't belong.
Yeah, that just doesn't work for me. I want too advanced stuff, like the video previews in the skill system, in the skill menu. How would I ever gonna pull that off by myself?
Wait, a video preview in the skills menu. Well,
I have preview videos of my skills. Like essentially, what I'm doing is I play WebM files in the skill menu. There's a special window for that. Like how am I gonna do that with like patch code?
Oh, you're gonna show the like the skill preview.
Yeah, you go to the
That's
skill
dope.
menu
I like
and
that.
you select like // and then
Yeah.
it's gonna have the description, how many inputs it has, and there's gonna play a video on loop that shows the skill so you can look where the fuck the inputs are.
That is
Yeah, no,
awesome. I like
cool.
that.
That's AAA stuff right there.
Yeah, that's freaking dope. That's freaking
but
Real
I'm
Tron
not gonna
don't
do
like
that
it though.
myself.
The Real Tron don't like it, but that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. Padre said, are you tracking how much you spent and what you need to break even?
I did calculate it recently. Like as I was I already shared it on the Discord. Like I'm over $2K into the demo right now.
God. My wife would have killed me. She was like, $2,000 on a video game?
Yeah, I mean, I could have done it differently. I could have done this like tech demo thing and then run a Kickstarter and hope people are gonna buy into it and add the features later. But I want to try it differently. I want to make the demo as polished as possible so people are getting enticed to getting into this. Is what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Never know till you try it.
Yeah, so I'm already taking a huge gamble on that. So
But it could pay off.
it could pay off. Yeah, it could not.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
got to spend money to make money.
Yeah. And
That's-
yeah, as I said, I don't have the time or the brain power to learn all that additional shit right now. I'm just gonna finish this demo and then run a Kickstarter and then finish the game, hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, should we, since we're not really talking about the game, should we maybe touch on the whole LGB stuff in the game?
No,
Is that
sir.
something
I
we
ain't
can talk about, or-
I ain't talking about that. No, sir.
Well, why not? It's part of the game.
It was fine. I mean,
There's not really much to talk about, but it has been mentioned in the chat, and I mean,
I guess
it
another
sells on the LGB tag, so maybe
Another
you should
Night
mention it,
Bewitched.
I don't know.
Vic said Another Night Bewitched is full of lesbian characters. So I guess
And gay characters. It's gays everywhere. Like the entire cast is gay.
yeah. Yeah,
which is not a big deal. Like it's for me.
If Padre's not gonna
I
speak
hate
on it, I'm not gonna speak on it.
I'm
Padre
gonna
ain't
speak
say
on it.
nothing
Fuck it.
about it. I ain't saying nothing about it. That's how it
Y'all
is.
just need to grow a pair. I don't give a shit.
I mean,
Then nobody gonna call, man. Shoot, you gonna have everybody on your head if you say something about LGBTQ plus
the reason why I want to touch on
QAI.
this is actually a good reason, because usually when games feature this fucking tag, right? When they advertise LGBT tag, usually what they do is like they make it awkward, right? Every fucking NPC is gonna come out as gay and nobody cares, and they make it weird. So, but they didn't do that in this game. In this game, it's just naturally in there. It just happens to be so, and that's a good thing, right? So they introduce the cast, and they just casually mention that the two dudes are like into each other, like
like their
that's
boyfriend
okay.
and boyfriend. Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally okay. They don't make it awkward in this game. So
Yeah, I agree.
It's not a big deal here. It's in there, but it's not weird.
It's awkward based on your beliefs.
Yeah, I mean, your beliefs are your beliefs. So in that case,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Like the gays, don't play this game.
Like
make it awkward.
Like some people just want to play a game just to play a game. If not, you might as well just do that with everybody, whether they're straight or gay. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but that's what you do when people are straight. Nobody mentions it. It just happens. It's normal to you, and that's what they did in this game. Them being gay is just normal in this game.
I got a lot of criticism for saying something about a game that I played that had the whole cast
they
was
made it weird in this game.
The whole cast was lesbian, and when I said something about it, I got called all types of stuff. So I prefer not to say jack.
But you were right in that game, though. They made it weird. They made it awkward. They placed it in a way where it made no sense, and that's not what they're doing here. That's the entire point I just wanted to touch on.
King of Sanity. King of Sanity. Are you being serious, or are you He said, "What's the best way to get shampoo out your pee hole?"
How did you get it in there in the first place, you fucking weirdo?
Yeah. But yeah, man. I decide not to mess with it. Stop. Stop.
I mean,
that means he's masturbating, y'all, in the shower. That's what he's doing.
The thing is, we're reviewing the games, and it's part of the game.
Yeah, I'm just playing the game.
It's okay to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm just playing the game. I just feel like, okay, it's just one of these games. I don't really pay it no mind. It is what it is. It didn't take away from the gameplay, which is good.
Exactly, that's my point.
But you got some games
from the game.
You got some games that just
weird.
You got some games just push it like it is what it is, and I ain't.
Exactly. That's the entire point I was just trying to make. It's just like it didn't take away from the game in this case.
No, it didn't. It didn't.
Exactly.
It didn't.
In the other game you played, they just made it weird, right? They forced it on the player and they made it a big thing. And that's not cool in games. Nobody gives a shit, right? And in this game, it's just natural. It's just there. If you don't care, you don't care. You can
it's just who they are,
game.
As the characters. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the entire point I just wanted to make. There's nothing really else to talk about. Like, if you hate gays and whatnot, kind of, whatever, I don't fucking know, then don't play this game. I guess. But other than that, it's a pretty solid game.
You didn't know there was in this game Square Pillow because you didn't read the dialogue. It's all over the game, to be honest, like with the characters.
Yeah, they mention it here and there, right in the beginning of the game. They have this talk, like how Sarah mentions how they get handsy.
Everybody and their mama is, even on the part that the ship scene is a gay scene.
Yeah.
So.
The entire fucking game is gay, I guess, but yeah, it doesn't really take away though. That's a good thing.
No, it don't take away, but when you playing the game, you just want to play a game. You know what I mean?
That's the
just
thing though. The goal is to normalize it all, right? So if you have a game where you have a dude and a girl mention that they're gonna screw, you're not gonna pay it no mind, right? Because that's
I'm
normal,
going to
and
pay
that's
it
how
mine because
should be.
that shouldn't be in games, knowing that children may play that game.
That's in every game. Every fucking RPG is a love story, more or less. It's
So-
always in there somewhere.
So
I keep
And
the
every RPG Maker game has a brothel too.
I keep the love stories out of
it kill it. Sometimes it could kill. Sometimes it could kill immersion too, like the seriousness
But-
of the
but
game.
Usually it doesn't. Like people.
What do you
just fall in
mean
love
it
with each other.
doesn't?
What's wrong with that though?
Man, no,
Man, my
I ain't
game's gonna be a
saying jack.
romance
I ain't
too.
saying
You gonna say
nothing.
that's weird as well.
I ain't saying jack. My lips are sealed.
Look at that guy having no opinion, like a blank sheet of paper.
Nah,
man.
because these days you gotta watch what you say, or you gonna be considered an enemy.
Man,
What
man,
you mean? It is. You gotta watch what you
Hey,
say these days,
man,
bro.
You afraid of a loud minority?
Cychronic
man.
game. Cychronic. Do
Oh,
you gotta
goddamn.
watch what you say these days?
You just have to not be an ignorant piece of shit and kind of know the
I'm
facts
done.
before you start speaking.
Oh my god.
But it's okay to put yourself out there, and somebody you might get criticized, you might get feedback that doesn't feel good or doesn't sound good, and
And that's
being able
what
to being able to have a thicker skin about it is a good way to go too. But I mean, like I think you always have to be kind of careful about what you say because it could affect.
Yeah, you do. That's why.
But that shouldn't stop you from saying it if it's something you want to say, because the issues can be discussed and debated and analyzed. I mean,
Yeah,
That's the whole
yeah.
point of the podcast.
And that's true because a lot of people's not gonna have, and it comes down to beliefs and morals. Because
Well, I
not a
try
lot
not
of
to-
people, people's gonna share them same morals with you. So it's
actually,
always gonna be a debatable topic.
well, there's more
Because
people that share your morals than you think. It's just that a lot of times people, because they're not comfortable with putting themselves out there, they just don't say anything. So it's the quote unquote silent majority, maybe, right? You never know.
Exactly.
Hold on.
I have no problem putting myself out there and what I think, even if sometimes people really disagree with me on some stuff, but you just gotta
All the time, man.
Yeah,
All the fucking time.
hold on, what bit talking about?
Yeah, I mean, that's what One Man Indie does, giving his opinions about all the gay stuff in the Mario movie and whatnot. That's what he does. That's his
Thank you
content.
guys for coming to the podcast. We will see you guys
Yeah.
later.
Look at this guy chickening out again, man.
I'm done. I'm
Man.
freaking done.
If we play games that advertise as LGB, I'm gonna comment on it and like give my opinion on whether or not I feel they made it weird or if they just implemented it right, like it should be.
But they
Whether or
implemented
not
it
you
the
like
best.
it or not.
They implemented the best way that they know how. So you can't really go against that. My thing is with that one game that I played, my problem was the characters they look like kids. That's
They
my
look
thing.
like kids.
That's
and they
my
put it in the
thing.
character bio, and that's the
Yeah.
weird part.
That's
So
that's the issue
what
I
they
had.
did wrong. They put it out of context and they just put it there for it to be there. In this game, though, they just had people being in a gay relationship,
Yeah.
and that's what happens.
Yeah,
in
they did
every
it right.
RPG.
Yeah, I agree. They did it right. They didn't screw it up.
Exactly, and that's what I think we should comment on if it's even marketed as that.
But I played the game and enjoyed the game, and it's a great game.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just saying we shouldn't need to shut up about it because some crazy weirdo would dislike what we said. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. My thing is though, games should be enjoyed for what they are, and
Yep.
not used as a, well, just like the eating game, the Covenant game. You know what I mean?
That was so weird, man.
It's for obese people or overweight people. You know what I mean?
It's a fetish game. I mean, it's alright, I guess. It just made no sense to me that you, when you make a game like that with a fetish theme and you don't put any of that in the demo, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like,
It's like,
the good part just left. Like, what the game was about, we didn't even get there. Yep.
yeah, we didn't even get there. That was my only problem. Like, I don't give a shit. It's a fetish game. I play that shit. I don't care.
Yeah, false narrative. That's Sigma's game.
Oh man, don't even get me started on that mess, man.
Man, I ain't saying jack. So
Sigma is a magnet for drama.
stop. I ain't no sir. Protect yourself.
No,
Protect
sir.
yourself. Or you're not gonna have no sales
Man,
on
I
your
don't
game.
need no protection, man. I'm always going in raw.
Well, but now that this has been brought up, like really, I do think that people need to grow a thicker skin and actually realize that not everybody thinks like them, and deal with the fact that you are surrounded by people in this world who think completely differently than you, and there's literally, when people take it too personally, it prevents people from actually learning where the other side is coming from and coming to where it is actually the reasonable spot.
I mean, we're the best example. Like we three are so fucking different in almost every regard. Like D7 is a Christian boy, right? He has his Christian values and whatnot, and I don't believe in anything, and I'm pretty much anti-religion, and I don't even know what Psychronic does.
I'm not
but he
religious at
helps
all.
like the homeless and shit. Like he's a charitable person, and we're completely different players too. Like
Yeah, we got different views and stuff, but at the end of the day,
views on everything.
at the end of the day, we could coexist.
Yeah,
which is
that's,
good.
That's exactly the thing. Every Wednesday, we can still come together and have a good time together, regardless of our different outlooks on life and everything.
Exactly.
And that's how it should be.
Yep. So take notes, guys. Take notes, chat. Be like us. Be like RTP. Make sure.
Yeah, be RTP or
make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow the Discord. The link is in the description.
Markets on Grindr.
Grindr, right?
Grindr.
I don't even know if Grindr is even a thing in Germany, to be honest, man.
Oh man, that's disrespectful. But yeah, man, definitely, guys. If we ask you to support the developer, definitely purchase this game if you want to try it out for yourselves. It's available on Steam. I have the download link in the description, so definitely try that. But before we leave,
this is the second game on this channel that I actually recommend to people. Wow.
So before we leave, we have a tradition that we always ask: how much will you pay for this game? The game is $14.99.
I think the
Pre-sale.
price is spot on. I'd pay $14.99 for it.
Okay. What about you?
It's $12.50 in euros for me, so yeah, I'm gonna say that's a pretty good price, really. I think it's worth it.
And I agree on the price too. $14.99. I will actually pay that price. Even with the demo, I'm not sure how long this game is, but still, like, all the mechanics that I like in the RPG is definitely there. Exploration, fun battles, not over complicated mechanics. You got your puzzles, you got your visuals and the music. Everything
I didn't
is
even
great.
touch on that, man.
Everything is great.
I really appreciated that the combat system is fun but not over complicated. So you don't need to read like 20 lines of a fucking state description for everything in order to understand what the fuck is happening. I really appreciated that. It's fun designed, and it's overall the game is really really well-rounded overall. Like everything fits together, and it's not hard to pick up. Like you don't need 30 minutes of a fucking tutorial to understand. Is there even a tutorial? I already forgot.
No, not really. It's like
but you were
It's
able
not
to
much,
play
right?
around and figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Which is
not like
not-
you had to read a bunch of text and shit like that. You just kind of play the game and figured it out, right?
Yeah,
That's as much
they
as
had
I
like
remembered.
they had that little in-game tutorial, but it was so short you don't even know it was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's how it should be. I don't want to read all that shit, like pages and pages of descriptions and whatnot. I don't need any of that.
Sure don't. So before we head out, guys, definitely follow the Discord channel where there's a lot of goodies, and you could do game requests. You could submit RTP to play your game once. Every 3 weeks we will spin the community wheel, where we will play the person game on the 4th week. But to get your game submitted, you must come to the Discord and submit the game yourself in the game request forum. We also have services from SG Harlequin, where he does asset sequencing and map making, and Synchronic Games left a lot of links where you can get free music for your project. So your music is not, well, it could stand out than everybody else RPG who uses pretty much almost the same music. And another thing, we also have other members who help, with the plugins and in-game stuff, like Padre. He's a really big helper. Ace of Aces is a really big helper. Pretty much everybody contributes and help each other out with their projects. So it's definitely a great community to come and hang out with, to joke around, to laugh. Or if you're just lonely and you don't have anybody to talk to, you definitely come and talk to us. So definitely hope to see you guys there. And before we leave, do any of my co-hosts has anything to say before we close out?
Don't we want to talk about the poll here?
Oh yeah, the poll. That's right. We got 19 votes, and I asked what's more important in the RPG. 47% says story. 42% says gameplay. 5% says mapping, and 5% says battle. What's your guys' take on that?
Well, I think that the it's in the name, role-playing game. You're literally playing the role of something, characters or one character or a team, and the basis for any good role in any kind of story is a good story. So I come for the story. So I agree with the results of the poll. But if you can do both, if you can do good gameplay and good story, you've got a classic that will be remembered for quite some time.
Okay, so Synchronic Games like the story and the gameplay, but the battles could be basic and the maps could be horrible. So let's move on to Simple Gaming.
I mean, the terms are kind of weird. Like gameplay and battles, like the battles are part of the gameplay.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have separated them, because if only the battles are good in the game, you're probably still not gonna play it. If everything else is shit,
Okay.
literally everything, are you really gonna keep playing?
Okay.
Right, so I think that's why it's only 5%, because battles alone don't make a good game. You need at least story and gameplay in general. Like, if you're doing puzzles, you need decent puzzles. If you need decent battles, you need decent everything gameplay related.
Okay.
You cannot make a game on good mapping alone. You cannot make a game on good battles alone. You
Okay.
can make a game on good story alone, though, and you can make a game on good gameplay alone. That works. But the other two things, it doesn't work.
I call cap because RPG Maker, you can make any game that you want. And if it's battle only, then you need good battle. So you're dismissed, my guy. All right.
But no.
What you mean?
If it's battle only, then it's still gameplay though. The battles are the gameplay. So even if you make like a fucking chain battle game like what I'm trying to do as a side project where it's just battle after battle after battle, you still need good gameplay, right? You need like a shop that pops up every now and again. You need extra loot and maybe some puzzle battles or whatnot. You need variety.
Yeah.
You cannot make a successful game with just a good battle system. And everything else is shit. No.
All right. Okay. So Simple Gaming had to get his point across. I agree with the poll. You know, I definitely agree. The story gotta be good, but gameplay definitely makes the game. You know, if the gameplay is lacking, then what's the point of playing the game? Even some games story is not that good, but overall everything else from, you know, the game could be puzzles, could be enjoyable as well. So yeah, great poll, guys, and until we meet again next week.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff.
Yeah, get the likes up, guys. We only got 7 likes. Get more likes. Tell your friends about us. Share. Say RTP is a group that will play your game, you know, for free. You know what I mean? So maybe that's a catchphrase. RTP will play it for free. I don't know.
That's so desperate, man.
Hey, we're El Desperado. We 3 musketeers. You know what I mean? That's what we do. And I like to thank the higher power for not allowing my OBS to crash during this stream. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 27 minutes and not one crash. So I would like to give thanks. So because I crashed at least 5 times yesterday. So alright guys, until next week, y'all stay safe. Peace out. My Canadian people, I really hope they get the fire under control. Y'all stay indoors. Your health really means a whole lot to us. So definitely stay safe. And I hope, you know, everything gets normalized soon. So